Hey guys, this is Chetan for Gizmo Times, and today we are going to talk about a new UI update that we are seeing on one of the most trending brands right now from Realme. It's the Realme UI update that's arriving on some of its smartphones. Usually the software updates they do bore us because of the fact that they come with the software updates such as the security updates. They don't come with anything that is huge, and there are some minor improvements done, some major bug fixes done, and that is okay for the users. But when there's something exciting such as an entire overhaul of the UI, that is when things get pretty exciting. So with the Realme X2 Pro that we have, the update has already arrived on our device for testing it out. So I'm going to talk about what are the major changes here. How does this change the things from the previous ColorOS? This still is based on the ColorOS 7. So you need to keep that in mind. That is not a completely different UI. This Realme UI 1.0 version is based on ColorOS 7, but it does bring the Android 10 update along with it. So you are going to get the latest Android OS update with this. But what are the other changes as well? Let's talk about that. Firstly, it's going to be buttery smooth. I have been using this for only about a couple of hours. I did not check the update yesterday. I could check it today, and I can say that the entire animations and whatever the loading is, it has become faster, and that is because of something they call as the quantum animation engine, which makes things much smoother and faster, and that is clearly visible here. Everything that you see here, the switching between the apps, also going to the app drawer and going into the settings, everything has become much smoother than it was already. And again, we are talking about a phone that's the Realme X2 Pro, which is a flagship, so obviously things are expected to be quite smooth, but this smooth I did not expect it to be. So this is actually much smoother, and that is the first thing. Change in animations, the animation speed is much better now. Next, there's an assistant or the search bar that is given towards the bottom, which you can rather remove or keep it there. You can't move it towards the top, and that's quite a good location, I would say, because it might be new for some of us and it might be a bit annoying that you have a search bar towards the bottom. But imagine you're using the phone with a single hand. For such large phones, having the bottom bar, the search bar towards the bottom, is actually quite good because it actually makes things easier for you. And that is one thing that has changed here. The search bar is present towards the bottom now, and that is the second change. The third one is the new icons and new wallpapers. So the wallpapers and icons are pretty much changed. This is going to appeal to the younger generation, the younger users who feel that there should be better icons present there. So ColorOS did have decent icons. It does not mean that it was bad overall, but it had decent icons. But now these are more targeted towards the younger users, towards the youth who would like these kinds of icons, and now these icons are customizable. So you can use any third-party application of icons and change the icon pack completely based on whatever you need. And there are newer wallpapers as well, and the sound, I don't know how Realme meant this or what it really means, because I haven't tested that out, but I wanted to let you know. They mean that now there are some newer humanity sound effects. So humanity sound effects is again a kind of a human touch given to the sounds, which would make your experience of usage of the phone and also hearing those sounds would be much better than what it was already present there. So it's humanity sound effects, which we will be talking about later in case I understand and I try to explain that better. But right now it's just that name which I couldn't talk to you about, and humanity sound effects is what they call it for the sound and kind of the everything that around sound here, which is the sound and vibration part of this phone. So that is the humanity sound effect. And fingerprint animation sound is also now a part of the Realme UI. That is one thing. And now dark mode. So dark mode was part of the developer options or whatever they had for the testing part in the ColorOS. Now it's a part of the Realme UI, and it is present under the display and brightness options, where you see that single toggle switching it to the dark mode, and now dark mode is present on almost the entire UI. There's no exception here. There's no part where you won't see the dark mode except for the applications where dark mode is not supported at all. If that app is not supporting it, you can't do anything about it. But otherwise, dark mode actually looks always good, and along with that it is present almost everywhere in the UI, in the new Realme UI. So dark mode is now an integrated part of the display and brightness settings, which is a pretty good one. Next one is this very cool fingerprint usage for the screenshots. I mean, on our channel on tips and tricks, you can see that we always talk about the screenshots and we say that it's easy to do it with the gestures. Here, gestures are made better. So you take a screenshot just by swiping down, which is common among the ColorOS phones as well. But now you can take screenshots in different ways. If you hold with the three fingers, and drag it down, this is the only part you can take screenshot of, which is pretty cool. So you don't have to first go take a screenshot and then crop it. You can actually take a screenshot of a single part of the screen, and that is by holding by 3 fingers and swiping it down. So that can be done. And once you are in one of the web pages, for example, if you want to take a screenshot of an entire web page, you can go into that page and now hold this and go down, so that screenshot or a long screenshot can be taken. So drag up to take a long screenshot. Let's do that once again. So if you now hold the screenshot and drag it up, it would actually take the screenshot of the entire thing, and you can see the entire page screenshot has been taken here, which is quite a cool feature. You don't have to now go into the settings, deep into the settings of the screenshot, try to take multiple screenshots. It's all with the 3 finger gesture, taking a screenshot or taking a longer screenshot, taking a part of the screen as a screenshot, which is all a part of the three finger animation or the 3 finger gesture for this new screenshot feature on the Realme UI. And now one thing that you might have heard from the MIUI earlier was the Mi Share. Mi Share was an application which you could use, or a Mi Share was a feature, not an application separately. It was a feature which you could use and try to send files to some of the partner phones or companies. So a good thing that we heard recently was that Oppo and Vivo, Realme, Xiaomi, they all joined together to make one consortium or one platform to make file sharing much easier. So Realme is calling it Realme Share on their phone, which is quite obvious. So if you go into the settings, into the network connectivity settings and see, you'll see the option of Realme Share. So Realme Share is similar to how Mi Share worked. It makes it easier to send files across phones of Xiaomi, Vivo, Oppo, Realme, and all these brands, Redmi, also on Poco. So all these brands together, now you can send the files pretty easily because of the Realme Share now, which is a part of the Realme UI update. And one pretty cool feature now here is the Realme's dual mode music share. Realme has introduced a new feature where you can actually share music to two different sources. So if you have a Bluetooth earphone or something like the Realme Buds Air, which takes advantage of Bluetooth connectivity, you can have it connected, and while that is happening, this phone has the 3.5mm headset jack. So you can use the wired connectivity as well, Bluetooth and wired together. So if you are two users, one wanted to hear music only on Bluetooth and the other was actually using the phone and they want to listen to the music at the same time, that can be now done with the Realme's dual mode music share, which is a new feature on the Realme UI, and that is a pretty useful feature if you're someone who shares your phones or shares your music along with other users at the same time. And now in the camera application, if you go into the camera app, there are a few certain changes. One of the major ones is the 64MP mode in the Realme X2 Pro, and that is, for example, on this one. If you go into the other phones, into the Realme X3, there's also the same camera, and Realme X2 Pro, that would have the 48 megapixel camera. So the 64MP mode is now a part of the bottom bar. You don't have to go into the more settings and go into that option to change the setting to 64MP, or if you go to the settings and then change the resolution from there, you don't have to change the resolution from that area. Now it's a part of the bottom bar and you can easily go to the 64MP mode, go take a capture, and that is done. Now you can go check out the 64MP capture that is taken here, which is pretty easy and pretty cool now. So you don't have to do that multiple tapping into the settings and changing the setting. It's directly a part of the bottom bar in the camera application to change the mode to the full resolution 64MP camera. Now there's a couple of other changes. First is the game boost is now improved with a few better animations or a better faster loading of the games or faster graphic settings, but the game boost is now certainly improved based on what Realme claims. And there's also a riding mode. If you go into the settings, in the settings you'll see the new riding mode that is under the smart services, where you see you can add riding mode to quick settings for easy access. When you do the riding mode, it would actually have the do not disturb activated, and also it would let the users know that you are actually driving now and can't take any calls. So that is a part of the new Realme UI. And there was already the smart driving, which is the Bluetooth connectivity. So that is already present, but riding mode is something new you see on the Realme UI. So obviously there's a lot more on the Realme UI update that is based on the ColorOS 7, and that is going to come on major smartphones, the Realme X2, X2 Pro, the Realme XT, also the previous phones from Realme, which they promised that it would be coming with the Android 10 update. So obviously there's a lot more to explore on the Realme's UI, and we'll be actually doing a side-by-side comparison of the current ColorOS 6 with the Realme UI to show you how things are changing on the UI part of these smartphones, and we'll be doing a separate video on that. This was just my first impression. I'm actually pretty excited with a software update, which we usually don't see happening, but now this update has brought in some better stuff. It has made the UI faster, so obviously there is some excitement added to it, but we'll still see will still use the phone and will then let you know whether things are pretty stable or things have really changed to make the experience better or not. So stay tuned for the future videos that will be coming along for the Realme UI update and the things around that. So that's it in this video. I hope you like this video. If you do, share and subscribe to Gizmo for more. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.